It's always a good day whenever you beat LA.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Western Conference Tuesdays on the Locked On NHL channel. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day, especially when they beat LA. So if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. And today, the Sharks have earned their second win of the season. 2 wins in 2 nights for the Sharks. Who would have thought? Who would have thought as they survive a brutal second period? So we'll talk about that. Talk about how they found their game in the third period, what the numbers say, and talk about how Walman and Wennberg, them getting comfortable now, is helping to spur the Sharks' recent wins. So before we get to all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. You can start a new season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. 2 wins in 2 days. What a world we live in. And the Sharks, they played for a majority of this game. They played toe-to-toe with the Kings. And that's what they need to do, right? They need to kind of survive their bad moments. And that second period was not great. But they survived. That's all you can ask for. And then I thought they played really well to start the game, which I kind of expected them to do, especially after coming off an emotional win against Utah. I thought they would start the game well. They did start the game pretty well, had 2 power play opportunities, just weren't able to capitalize. Neither team was able to kind of do much on power play tonight, which was a little bit surprising. They survived. They regrouped for the third period. And in the third period, they outplayed the Kings. That is the recipe right now. Survive your bad moments and then just take advantage of the opportunities you have. And you see this team, they're starting to get some confidence, get some belief in and just some chemistry with some of these guys, right? So many new pieces and guys moving around. And we'll talk a little bit about maybe some changes that could expect to see on for Thursday's game. But the big guns are out to play. They've been, contributing, right? Zetterlund, another goal. Tyler Toffoli, another goal. Eklund with the empty netter. Jake Walman, and again, we'll talk a lot more about Jake Walman, but could you imagine trading Jake Walman and having to give up a second-round pick to do it? Who would do that? That sounds crazy to me. Anyway, some sort of plan, some eyes are planned to do that, but it's the first couple weeks have definitely been tough for the Sharks, right? And they've had moments where it felt like they could have won some games and things didn't break their way. Tonight, it felt like they earned this win. And Utah's win, great win. They had a lot of stuff break their way. And they outplayed Utah for good chunks of that game, but they had stuff break their way. Tonight was a win where it felt like they really earned it, and I feel like they earned this win tonight. And they didn't feel fluky. It didn't feel like some sort of miracle that they won this game. They just outplayed for good chunks of this game. They outplayed LA. Second period, though. These are the moments that the Sharks are going to have to work on and continue to kind of iron out. And you can't fall into this trap too much. This is where the consistency, right? The Sharks are like a 40-minute team right now. They give you 2 good periods, right? And then they usually have 1 period, which is kind of a clunker. And it's, can you manage those periods and start to become a 50-minute team where you're playing good for 2.5 periods and then finally a 60-minute team? Can you play for a full 60 minutes? The second period, though, like you can't survive in a world where you are giving up 31 shot attempts in 13 minutes at 5v5. That's what they did. 15-3 shots for in the second period. 15-5 scoring chances for LA. 7-1 high danger chances. Like 2.15 to 0.28 expected goals for all that. And that was the second period for the Kings. So maybe the Sharks did get a little bit lucky that they didn't find themselves behind. And I thought the penalty kill was excellent tonight. There was a really weird sequence with a lot of 4-on-4 in the second period there, and a lot of Kings power plays, et cetera, et cetera. Fabian Zetterlund going to the box for misconduct. Who knows? He said he didn't warrant anything, but he did also say something in Swedish. Who knows? That's one of those things we'll probably never know the real story on that one, and it's fine. But the penalty kill played really well tonight, and especially in a game where the Sharks power play, like it's kind of struggled against a very high pressure Kings penalty kill. But the penalty kill came to play tonight, and I know they got a calling Cardwell with 11 seconds left for a penalty. Like, guys, let's just go home here. Anyway, so we got a free penalty kill out of that one. But going over, making the Kings go 0 for 6 tonight. The Kings have struggled with some scoring opportunities here and there, and not having Kevin Fiala definitely hurts them, as he missed the game for missing a meeting. So he got bench tonight for that, so or press box tonight for that. But not a great second period. Ugly second period. But the way the Sharks responded, right? And these margins aren't like they're close. In the first period, there was the shot attempts at 5-on-5 or 12-13 in favor of the Kings. In the third period, there were 13-10 in favor of the Sharks. Like, the Sharks aren't a team where you're going to just blow people out of the water. We know this is not a very talented team. But if you can keep it close, this is kind of your recipe for winning right now. And they were able to do it tonight. And like, you're starting to see the proof of concept of what this Sharks team is eventually working towards. We think hopefully it'll be a much more, consistent power, special teams performances. And we can't have some of the ups and downs, and, taking 6 penalties tonight, not a good look. And especially with 2 of them are bench minors with too many men, and then an unsportsmanlike, you have to clean that up. Again, this team has very, very little margin for error, but they play clean hockey. They have a chance, and they did that tonight. And I think that's just, again, I know the Sharks-King rivalry isn't what it is right now, and hopefully we'll get back to that being what it used to be, and just kind of like seeing these guys in the playoffs, all the fun stuff of the NorCal, SoCal like rivalry, and hopefully we'll get back to that at some point. But it is nice whenever you can beat LA, and the Sharks did that tonight, and they did it behind their biggest players making big plays. Really good goaltending from Vitek Vanecek, who kept them in the game in the second period. Like, very easily, there was moments where it felt like this thing could teeter off the highway, but Vanecek kept them in it. And then the third period, I like how they respond. How does this team respond? And that's something we're seeing from Warsawski, is getting this team to respond after bad periods or bad moments, and not letting it snowball as much. Still having those moments, especially when you play the upper crust teams like the Winnipeg Jets and like the Vegas Golden Knights, and that also the talent disparity between the two teams. But in games like this, where Vegas is a good team, or not Vegas, why do I keep saying Vegas? The Kings are a good team. Like, this is, this team's going to be in the playoff hunt this season, and getting a win here, got to feel really good about kind of the starting to turn the corner of the season and just being a more competitive team night in and night. And that's the goal, right? Can you be a competitive team night in and night out? And the Sharks were a very competitive team tonight, and they won the game because they won 2 out of 3 periods. So we will continue. We'll dig into the numbers, look at how the lines performed, and then we'll talk about Walman and Wennberg and why these two guys here starting to kind of get comfortable and starting to kind of set up the Sharks for success here. So we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you want to get in on daily fantasy sports, you need to check out PrizePicks. PrizePicks has made fantasy sports accessible to all. All you have to do is pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. You can win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. And you can also play here in California. If you sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5, you don't even need to win to receive a $50 bonus. Is guaranteed. So if you think Jake Walman continues to do Jake Walman things on Thursday, or maybe Elias Pettersson has a monster game, or Nathan McKinnon continues to just wreak havoc, pick more or less on what you think they're going to do, and you're good to go. So download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, use the code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game. All right. Before we continue, we dig into the numbers. Do want to, of course, thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network. When you're done checking out this episode, go check out one of the other great shows, including Locked On Fantasy Hockey. So if your fantasy team needs some help, or you need to kind of find that next guy to put you over the edge, they've got you covered there. Or check out one of the other shows here in the Bay Area. You got Locked On Warriors, where it seems like no Steph, no problems. You have Locked On Niners, Locked On A's, Locked On Giants. Plenty of great stuff here in the Locked On Network. Again, we cover your team every day. All right, let's dig into the numbers. And we kind of talked about the numbers a little bit, especially that second period. But for the full game, we had a little over 41 minutes of 5v5 time. Shot attempts were 54-35 in favor of the Kings. Again, heavily weighted by that second period. Actual shots was 22-15. Scoring chances 29-20. 12-6 high danger chances. And again, the Kings second period, a lot of that work is being done by the second period. 289 to 1.29 expected goals for, all that in favor of the Kings. The Sharks scored 3 even strength goals compared to the Kings 2, and then they got the empty netter, which doesn't count at the 5-on-5 there. So for the lines, so of course the Granlund line leading the way. Eklund, Granlund, Toffoli played 9-10 together, 11-15 shot attempts, and this was really ugly. Again, I like to kind of peek throughout the game. Really ugly in the second period, but credit to them, as this line has done. They have responded. Whenever the Sharks need a push, this is the line that has really kind of kept them going throughout the beginning of the season here. 7-7 actual shots, had a goal, gave up a goal. 0.48 to 0.99 expected goals for. So not what you want to see there. 7-8 scoring chances, 2-2 high danger chances. Gushin, Wennberg, Zetterlund played 849, 6-10 shot attempts, 4-6 actual shots. Had a goal, gave up a goal. I would not be surprised if Gushin is not playing on this line on Thursday. I don't think Gushin had a very great game. Definitely had some missed opportunities. Of course, there was the puck kind of lying right in the crease there. Gushin goes, kind of whiffs on it, crashes into the net. I thought he had some other plays that just weren't the greatest there. And you wonder if the Sharks try something else there. I personally would try Will Smith on that line to see if you can get him going. take him out of center, but that's a discussion for a different day. But we'll talk a little bit more about Wennberg here in a little bit, but this line kind of starting to get something going. I'm curious to see what they do in that other spot there. The Smith Goodrow Cunning line played 607, 5 to 11 shot attempts, 1 to 3 actual shots, 0.18 to 0.43 expected goals, 4, 3 to 5 scoring chances, 1 to 3 high danger chances. Smith again tonight had his bad plays. I think as the game went on, he got better. You saw some plays where he made some really nice, like you can see the passing, and the passing I think is starting to kind of come out. Every game you have that one, like, okay, there's a nice passer, there's a nice player. He had a couple of those nice plays. I thought he had a really good shift in the defensive zone, especially I think it was in the second period where he kind of pokes it out, keeps kind of, but wasn't able to get it fully cleared, still backtracks and is able to kind of keep pressure on his man. Like, you're seeing positive things from Smith. Are you seeing the production? No, but I also think it's a little bit of a byproduct of who he's playing with Goodrow and Cunningham. They're definitely like the training wheels on Smith right now, and that's fine. Like, that is part of the plan with him. I still would like to see him playing with some more skilled players, but here we are. So, and then we had the Cardwell Grunstrom line played 534, 5 shot attempts, 4 gave up 3, 2 to 0 actual shots, 1 goal, 4, 0.24 to 0.05 expected goals, 4. Congrats to friend of the show, Ethan Cardwell, for making his NHL debut. I asked for it. Sometimes you ask nicely, and sometimes you're rewarded with asking nicely. So, I thought Cardwell did exactly what you would expect out of Cardwell, right? He played hard on the PK. He had a 3-on-1 opportunity, and that is where you just got to shoot, buddy. Just pull the trigger. Just shoot it at the net and see what happens there. And that's something the Sharks need to just get better at, is just shooting the puck at the net and taking those opportunities, especially for a team that struggles to create opportunities. Just shoot it there. But playing well in the PK, like, his line earned power play opportunities in the third period, and that's kind of where the Sharks really started to kind of get their momentum going, was off of that power play, and eventually led to some goals there. But it sounds like Warzowski went out of his way to praise Cardwell, so I would assume you see that line together. On Thursday. Fine by me. I'd rather, again, like I said yesterday, I want to see Cardwell, who's 22 and has the whole, his whole road in front of him of what he's going to be and what type of player. And you can see what type of player high energy guy, great PK. And if you haven't watched a lot of Barracuda games, he's good for like springing one shorthanded chance a game on the PK. Granted, he's playing much more PK on the Barracuda, but excellent at creating havoc on the PK, and got a little bit of scoring touch, and he just doesn't give up on shifts. And that is what I want to see right now. I'd rather just see Cardwell doing that right now. So, we'll see. I think there's still gonna be some tweaks there, or at least what I would like to do. But again, if the Sharks win, are we gonna, I don't know if you're gonna kind of tweak what's going on there. So as for the defense, Ferraro kind of led the way with Corsi 4 at 51.28. Again, the Sharks were heavily outshot in that second period, which kind of skewers the numbers here. Ruda, who left the game for a little bit, but came back in the third, 47.22. Walman, 45.83. Cody Ceci, 34.29. Jack Thompson, 23.81, and then 21.74 for Matt Benny when it comes to Corsi 4, at least when it comes in those situations at 5-on-5. And then Vitek Vanecek tonight played outstanding. Like I said, especially that second period, kept the Sharks in this game. 2 goals allowed on 28 shots, expected goals against 3.84 in all situations. So 929 save percentage. 5 of 7 on high danger shots, 6 of 6 mid danger, and 14 of 14 low danger. Like Vanecek was I thought was really great tonight. Yeah, again, we'll see. I'm curious to see. Like Blackwood was a little bit shaky on Monday, but he made the big saves when he needed to. I thought Vanecek had a much cleaner game tonight. We'll see kind of how the Sharks try to navigate. Maybe they just keep going back and forth right now, as the Sharks will play. They play Chicago and they play Vancouver on Saturdays. So maybe you do go Blackwood on against Chicago, and then Vancouver you play Vitek Vanecek. Maybe that's the way to go. So we'll talk more about Jake Walman and Wennberg and how these guys kind of finding their footing now, I think, is what's leading to more Sharks success. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. Get ready to tackle NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel app, sportsbook app, gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. So if you had the Sharks winning tonight, it's $150 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, Jake Walman and Alex Wennberg. Walman, absolute tear the past 2 games with 6 points in his last 2 games, including a goal. First goal from a Sharks defenseman of the season. Congrats, Jake Walman. Took us, 11 games. But let's start with Walman, who Sharks, again, acquired for nothing, plus got a second-round pick out of it. I said in the offseason where I think Walman is, after the trade, Walman is kind of the defenseman what he does well is what the Sharks need more of, right? He creates offense. He's good on the transition. And you are seeing now that he's getting more comfortable, getting used to more chemistry, right? A lot of moving pieces with new coaching staff, a lot of new players that weren't here last year. Your guys are kind of starting to find their footing. I think Walman is a big example of that. And interesting that he hasn't been running the first power play, but in all kind of the big key moments, he's been the guy out there who, when the Sharks need a goal, he's been out there on the defense. But I think for him, finding some chemistry with CC is Cody Ceci, and I think Cody Ceci is better than what Sharks fans, or just hockey fans, give him credit for. Yes, every player makes bad plays here and there, but from Cody Ceci, I see more positive plays or just good plays than I see just this train wreck of plays. And with Cody Ceci not having to, I think, maybe carry as much offensive load with him paired with Jake Walman, I think both those guys are kind of able to kind of play towards their strengths. And Walman's is his offense and creating offense. And beautiful shot from the point tonight, for that goal. That thing was a freaking piss missile. I don't know if I can say that, but we'll go with piss missile and see if I get in trouble. Probably not. We're 25 minutes in the podcast. They've stopped listening by now. Absolute just rocket from the point. And the Sharks are going to continue to need more of that. Are we going to get 3 points tonight from Jake Walman? No, probably not. But can he just be a constant producer? I think so. And especially while you're kind of waiting for Shakir Mukhamadullin to get back, and Jack Thompson is, great start to Thompson, but has kind of, lost his role a little bit, or kind of not earning as much ice time. Walman's going to have to kind of carry the load here for it. And it seems like he's getting more comfortable. And maybe the Sharks were playing him a little bit too much to kind of start the season. What's his ice time tonight? So he played 21 minutes, and maybe I think that they had him up in the 25-minute range, and I just think that's too much for him. And right now, I think if he's playing in that kind of 20 to 22-minute range, he's probably better suited for what you need from Jake Walman. So him getting more comfortable, him kind of running from the point, creating offense there. His shot is very good. Needs a little bit more accuracy, but you saw it tonight when he gets a hold of it, he gets a hold of it. So, and then I think the other guy who's been a big factor in kind of the recent success of the Sharks is Alex Wennberg, who's getting more comfortable. And you notice Wennberg's plays improved, and now you're seeing Fabian Zetterlund make more of an impact, right? On the Zetterlund goal. Wennberg does a great job of puck is just kind of careening around the boards, gets a stick out there, just nice little kind of tap, slows it down with a nice little tap to Fabian Zetterlund, who's already has a head of steam, and then boom, Zetterlund fired, great shot from Zetterlund. But you're seeing, I think Zetterlund's improved play is because of Alec Wennberg getting more comfortable. And something to keep in mind, right? It takes time. It takes time for these guys, especially a guy like Wennberg coming into a new system. And I know a lot of fans last year, kind of after the Wennberg signing, didn't have the greatest performance with the Rangers. Yeah, every player acts different. It's hard to get traded. It's hard to come into a new system and succeed right away. And I think for Wennberg, you're starting to see him get comfortable here. And if he can get comfortable, if he can stay comfortable, Granlund continues to play the way he's playing, and then you get Celebrini back, that's a really nice 1-2-3 down the middle. And then you can move Will Smith to I think then we have a real conversation of what to do with Will Smith there on where do you want to put him to kind of best accentuate what he does well. But Wennberg's starting to come on here, and I think that's a positive sign for the Sharks. And Wennberg coming on is going to make Zetterlund play better. We've seen Zetterlund now with 3 goals in the past 2 games, playing with more confidence, playing with the energy and speed, and just kind of doing Zetterlund things that we love Fabian Zetterlund for. It just takes a little bit of pressure off that Granlund line where they don't have to kind of do everything. And so I think this is a huge development. I think those 2 guys playing better over kind of the past couple games, I think is a big reason why we're starting to see Sharks success. 1, scoring more goals, and 2, you're starting to get a couple wins, starting to feel good about the direction of this team. So yeah, there we go, guys. 2 in a row. What? It's been a while since we've had 2 in a row. It's been a long time. So that's going to do it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow. We have a really fun interview. It's already in the can, ready to go. So we'll, make sure you guys are following along. I'll probably tease it on social media at some point tomorrow. But really fun interview with a current Barracuda player. So make sure you guys are following along for that. You can follow the show wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter at MyFryhole. Till tomorrow. Bye, friends.